Hello viewers, welcome to my channel as if you knew.
Sister Wives fans say family member least likely to blame Kody thinks he's the problem. The world of Sister Wives has always been one of layered emotions, unexpected revelations, and an ongoing tug-of-war between personal freedom and family loyalty. Over more than a decade on television, audiences have watched the Brown family navigate the unique and often challenging realities of plural marriage, parental responsibilities, shifting alliances, and heartbreak. But in recent seasons, the spotlight has turned more sharply than ever onto Kody Brown himself, the patriarch of the family whose leadership, or lack thereof, has fueled ongoing debates among fans. Now, an intriguing wave of discussion has swept across the fan community, the belief that the one family member who is always considered the least likely to point fingers at Kody may actually be showing signs that they see him as the problem after all. For longtime followers, this shift feels like a seismic turning point. From the earliest days of Sister Wives, one consistent thread was the image of loyalty within the household. Each wife had her own relationship with Kody, each with highs and lows, but one figure stood apart as someone who seemed endlessly patient, unfailingly protective of Kody's perspective, and careful not to air frustration publicly. This family member, often seen as the emotional stabilizer, gave fans the impression that they would never openly challenge Kody. Through the countless arguments over finances, child-rearing, housing moves, and interpersonal tensions, that sense of loyalty remained intact. Even as Christine eventually walked away, and Janelle openly questioned Kody's decisions, and Mary endured years of distance, this one presence was consistently portrayed as standing beside him. And that is precisely why fans are stunned to interpret their recent words, actions, or subtle expressions as signs that perhaps even this long-standing ally now thinks Kody himself is the problem at the heart of the family's unraveling. The change didn't happen overnight. According to fans who have scrutinized episodes and behind-the-scenes footage, the first noticeable cracks in this unwavering loyalty appeared during emotionally heavy conversations in which Kody's tone turned increasingly rigid. Over time, the warmth and understanding that once characterized their exchanges seemed to give way to impatience, defensiveness, and fatigue. In moments where Kody once commanded authority, he now appeared increasingly isolated, sometimes speaking more like a frustrated commander than a loving partner or father. And in these same scenes, viewers began detecting body language shifts from the family member in question. Folded arms, furrowed brows, or silence that felt more like withdrawal than support. Even the smallest of sighs or pauses became significant. In the tight-knit and heavily analyzed Brown household, such subtle indicators carry enormous weight. For fans, it wasn't just about what was said, but about what wasn't. The lack of verbal reassurance from someone who had long been Kody's defender spoke voice. Across online communities and social media platforms, conversations blossomed. Viewers traded observations like detectives analyzing evidence. Screen captures of fleeting expressions circulated widely, with captions suggesting that this might finally be the moment Kody's strongest ally was beginning to acknowledge what others had been saying for years. The phrase "least likely to blame Kody" became shorthand in these discussions, a kind of code that encapsulated the shock. If even this family member is losing faith in Kody's leadership, fans reasoned, then perhaps the emperor truly has no clothes. What made the speculation more compelling was that it wasn't based on one dramatic moment, but rather a series of small, layered cues spread across episodes. One remark about feeling unseen, another about household imbalance, another about emotional exhaustion, all harmless in isolation, but damning when placed side by side. For years, the central storyline of Sister Wives revolved around the struggle of plural marriage itself, whether the wives could find harmony, whether jealousy could be managed, and whether the children could thrive in such a complex structure. But now, fans argue, the narrative has shifted to something far simpler. The problem may not be polygamy in theory, nor the wives in practice, but Kody himself. When even his most loyal family member is seen questioning his choices, the message feels undeniable. It suggests that Kody's leadership style, His rigidity, his selective attention, his tendency to prioritize one household over another, has eroded the very bonds he worked so hard to maintain. For viewers who have invested years into following the Browns, this potential shift has been both heartbreaking and validating. Heartbreaking because it underscores just how much strain the family has endured, but validating because it seems to confirm what many fans have long argued, that Kody's leadership often fosters division rather than unity. If the least likely family member truly does believe he is the problem, the emotional fallout could be immense. Not only would this signify a profound internal shift, but it would also further isolate Kody from the emotional support he has relied on. For a man who often framed himself as misunderstood, such a development could feel like a betrayal. And yet, from another perspective, it might also be the clearest wake-up call he has ever received. The Brown family has never been a static portrait of polygamous harmony. Each wife entered the marriage with unique hopes and insecurities, and each child has had to navigate their own relationship with their father. Over the years, the family has faced relocations, financial struggles, personal betrayals, and spiritual doubts. But amid all of this, Kody often positioned himself as the glue holding everything together. His belief in the family's purpose, his passion for defending their lifestyle, and his public insistence that they were stronger together painted him as indispensable. The idea that someone so close, so steadfast, might now think otherwise undercuts that entire foundation. It suggests that the unraveling of the Browns is not simply circumstantial, but rooted in the very person who has long claimed to be the solution. Reactions among fans have been both explosive and deeply emotional. Some feel vindicated, having long argued that Kody was the common denominator in the family's conflicts. Others feel sorrow, pointing out that while Kody's flaws are undeniable, the image of him losing his last ally carries a tragic undertone. Memes, discussions, and lengthy posts break down every word and glance, with fans predicting everything from further separation to possible reconciliation attempts. The sheer volume of commentary demonstrates how invested viewers remain in the Brown story, even after years of heartbreak and controversy. The future of the Brown family remains uncertain, but this particular revelation, or perceived revelation, could have significant consequences. If Kody's strongest supporter has indeed shifted their view, the balance of power in the family may tilt even further away from him. The days of his unilateral decision-making could be numbered, replaced instead by a family dynamic that prioritizes independence over collective unity. For the show itself, this storyline ensures continued intrigue. Viewers will tune in not only to see whether the speculation proves true, but also to witness how Kody responds. Will he double down on defensiveness, insisting that he has been wronged? Or will he finally engage in self-reflection, admitting to his role in the family's breakdown? The answer to that question could determine both the family's trajectory and the show's longevity. Beyond the drama of reality television, this saga resonates because it mirrors real-life relationships. Many viewers see in the Browns their own struggles with loyalty, communication, and leadership. They understand the pain of realizing that someone they trusted may be contributing to the very problems they hoped to solve. That's why the idea of the least likely family member pointing to Kody hits so hard. It is not just about a television family. It is about the universal experience of watching loyalty shift, about the heartbreak of realizing that the person you leaned on may not have all the answers. In the ever-unfolding story of sister wives, few developments feel as pivotal as this one. The belief among fans that the family member least likely to blame Kody now sees him as the problem marks a possible turning point in both the show's narrative and the family's reality. Whether this interpretation is accurate or simply a projection of fan hopes, its significance cannot be denied. It reflects a growing consensus that the issues plaguing the Browns cannot be explained away by circumstance alone. They stem from the very leadership at the family's core. And if the last bastion of loyalty truly has shifted, then the Brown family story may be entering its most dramatic and perhaps most honest chapter yet.